So as of this morning, the Oscar nominations have been released, and this movie received 6 Oscar nominations, so take that information and do with it what you will. Phantom Thread was written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and it stars Daniel Day-Lewis, Vicky Krieps, and Leslie Manville. And it's the story about a fashion designer in 1950s London. His name is Reynolds Woodcock, and he's a very high-end fashion designer. He makes dresses for royalty and really big, important people. But he's also very quirky and very eccentric, and when you look at him, it looks like he's just like a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off. Like, anything can set him off, and he'll just like go into a rant and rage and get mad if things don't go his way. So eventually he meets this woman named Alma, and he falls head over heels for her, and she becomes his muse, and they have a relationship together, and now we have our story. This movie is all about love and jealousy and control, and it in no way demonstrates a healthy relationship. Not even close. The best part of this movie really comes from its performances. Daniel Day-Lewis is one of my favorite actors of all time, and the last time he teamed up with this director, we got the movie There Will Be Blood, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So, going into this movie, I knew that the performances were going to be what you had to watch out for. This is going to be the best parts of the movie. And it really is. The relationship between these two main characters is something that you just can't stop watching because their performances are so captivating. Reynolds is a very controlling man, and he manipulates every part of their relationship so it can be exactly what he wants and how he wants things to go. But Alma is a very strong-willed woman, and in her own way is very controlling too. I don't want to say anything of what happens in the movie, but it's some crazy stuff. Now I'm going to say right now, this movie is not going to be for everyone. It is a very deliberately slow-paced movie. It lets tension build, and it lets things sit and stew, and it waits and waits and waits for you to get to the moment that you're waiting for it to happen. And because this is the way the movie is structured, a lot of people are either going to not get what's going on, or they're going to say it's really slow, or say it's really boring, or something like that. So if this is not the kind of movie that you're into, I don't recommend this. But if you go into the movie knowing it's more of an art film, and you have to watch it for what it is and for what the director and the story is trying to say to us, then absolutely I 100% recommend this movie. This movie has a lot of really good tension. Things will happen, and you think that one of the characters is just going to fly off the handle and yell and scream and throw a fit, and something is going to happen. And the tension builds and builds and builds, and you're just on the edge of your seat, waiting for what is going to happen. I don't want to say anything, but there's a scene where everyone's eating breakfast together, and the way that the sound editing is done in this scene, it really builds the tension really well. One of the only negatives I have to say about this movie is that it builds tension so well that the payoff isn't always quite as good as you're wanting it to be. Like in the movie There Will Be Blood, it is also a slower paced film, and it builds and builds and builds tension, but that payoff is everything that you've been waiting for, and it rewards you for your patience. This movie's payoff isn't quite as satisfying. I did still quite enjoy it, but it didn't bring me to those high levels that I was expecting after waiting for all of that time. But even with that, I did really enjoy the movie. I hope Daniel Day-Lewis wins the Oscar for his performance here. This is going to be his last movie. And I don't want to see him retire with only 3 Oscars. I want him to have 4. It's a better number. I'm going to say that Phantom Thread is top-notch. So thanks for checking out my review of Phantom Thread. You can comment below, let me know what you thought of the movie if you saw it. Let me know what you thought of this review. You can give me a subscription if you haven't done so already. And if you have nothing else to do, go watch more movies.